Welcome to our very exciting fireside chat. Andy, take a seat, because with me here is Dr. Andy Shea, independent economist. And I'm going to talk about Andy very shortly. Andy and I were both back in the green room listening with great interest to what the professor had to say. Always great to have to follow a Nobel laureate. I mean, I don't know how I got stuck with that, but very interesting. Okay, reality check. AI and the global market. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, artificial intelligence, AI. It is, or it has to be, the hottest topic on the planet. I mean, it pretty much dominated all the talks at the recent World Economic Forum in Davos. And of course, if you've been watching the headlines over the past few days, DeepSeek causing ripples all around the world. So let's find out. As I mentioned, Andy's an independent economist. You're based in Shanghai, specializes in China and Asia, and contributes as a guest columnist for the South China Morning Post. But very importantly, Andy has a crystal ball. He does. Andy is renowned, absolutely renowned, for his accurate predictions in economic bubbles. You foresaw things like the 1997 Asian financial crisis, the 2008 subprime collapse in the US, which of course led to the global financial crisis. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's hope, Andy, you have that crystal ball with you today. And let me start with this, Andy. Again, a real pleasure having you here. As we sit here today, I just want to sense, and I'm sure everybody, what are the tangible changes that we're seeing in the real world in terms of AI taking jobs? Because I'm just kind of wondering, what are the statistics telling us?
Yeah, I think that you've been hearing about AI every day. You know, people try to scare you. Basically, the AI you hear about is the chatbot. Okay, they're like ChatGPT. Actually, so far, the labor market impact is very limited. I haven't seen real examples. The issue is that how do you translate the information into replacing jobs? It's not so easy to imagine. What I have seen that has happened is AI in combination with hardware has produced an economic miracle, especially in China. Over the last 20 years, I have seen that AI has been gradually integrated into manufacturing, into construction, into mining, largely in response to labor shortage, because less and less people wanted jobs in these economic activities. Tens of millions of jobs have been replaced. And as AI developers, I have seen that it can do things that people could not do before. So we have seen qualitative changes. Okay, you look at for example, in mining, a lot of things that could be done today that could not be done by humans before. Now we could go deeper, find minerals faster, and we have seen that in terms of autonomous machine for tunneling.
But that's job losses, isn't it?
That's true, but these are jobs people didn't want. You see, so this is where AI happened in China in response to the labor market pressure, because people did not want to work in factories.
No, sure.
So did not want to work on construction sites. And so as AI came in to replace humans, then it developed into something different. It could do things that humans couldn't do before. So this is where I see big impact in China, is that you see part of the high-speed rail now is being built with no humans. So this is where China has come up with an economic development model that is human-free. It's like you write a plan, it happens. So this is sort of I think this is a very positive story, positive AI story. And in terms of eventually, there will be a labor market impact. I see that, yeah.
Well, can I ask you that? Because you say you're not really seeing tangible facts, but you look at the IBM CEO, Arvind Krishna, who said something like 30% of his labor force can be replaced by AI, and then they announced 8,000 job cuts to be replaced by AI. Then you've got McKinsey predicting up to 45% of work activities can be automated by AI. I mean, that's quite astonishing numbers.
Yeah, they're talking about white-collar jobs that can be replaced by something like a chatbot.
Yeah.
This GPT, large language model type of AI. It is possible, but so far, the impact is limited. What the research has shown, for example, in coding, what AI does is that it collects all the information about all the codes that are being written. Okay, so if you want to debug your program, it is actually helps you because it can identify obvious mistakes.
Yeah.
Okay, but what we have seen is that it cannot do original work. So that is the problem with all these LLM AI. A few months ago, MIT had a paper that it could not answer original questions. It could not answer questions that have not been asked before. So it's more like a sophisticated copy and paste system, yeah?
Sure. Let me ask you this, and again, the professor was talking about creation. I guess, Andy, it's important to understand the both sides, is what you're also saying, right? Because the World Economic Forum says, AI and robotics will displace 85 million jobs this year, but create 97 million jobs. Where is that? What sort of creation?
The issue is that the job impact will come when the hardware and the software are combined, as I have seen in industrial sector. In the service sector, I would expect the same thing to happen. Okay, so that's why humanoid robotics and robot dogs and so forth. These are very important. Okay. You see a lot of progress being made that it seems like they can do more things. And at some point, there will be a turning point, and they can replace human beings. Okay, the test is that when you see a robot can make coffee. So I see the barista test. Okay, once a humanoid robot can make a nice cup of coffee for you, labor market impact is here. Okay, so lots of jobs will be replaced. But in terms of how it's going to affect the economy, really depends on the cost of a humanoid. Okay, so this is where now people forget about the cost. And you look at the CES exhibition. I think that a couple of weeks ago, and a Chinese company Unitree came up with robot dogs and humanoid robots. And U.S. companies also came up with similar products, but they were marketed at very different prices. Chinese humanoid was sold for $15,000 US. The American copy was sold for $500,000. Okay, so there is a big. So in terms of economic impact, it's really important. If the robot is really cheap, then consumers don't spend much money on the same product, then they have savings. They spend on something else. That's what the economists say. It's a productivity game. Okay, so more money spent elsewhere, there will be more jobs created. Okay, so it's very hard for governments or economists or experts to predict where jobs will be. What we know is that there will be more demand because people have money to spend. So then there will be more jobs.
And let me ask you this. I'm just conscious of the clock. I mean, the time just flies up here, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I want to ask you about DeepSeek. But let me just, before that, let me ask you this. Is it ultimately the fact that it's not AI that will take our jobs, it's our ability to adapt and evolve?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You look at DeepSeek, and now you haven't heard of it. Maybe you have heard a little bit of it. Its impact is humongous. Okay, Chinese, the AI you've been hearing about is like from all these big shots, Hollywood big shots, worth like hundreds of billions of dollars. They're talking about spending trillions of dollars. Okay, Chinese came up with something better for $5 million. and in a couple of months. So basically, Chinese punched a hole in this myth that AI belongs to geniuses with lots of money, all these beautiful people from Hollywood, and they do AI. Actually, this is not true. This is a pipe. This is a bubble. Okay, this is a hype, but this is a bubble. So that's why a lot of people are desperate. Because Chinese are just saying, what you are doing is like not worth much. Not worth much. It's a commodity. Anybody can have AI. And you see what DeepSeek did? They released everything. And you can download it onto your computer. You have your own AI, okay? So, and it costs nothing, zero. So all these people with all these big fancy models talking about like Sam Altman. The guy who's been talking about, I need $7 trillion. The guy talks trillions, talks trillions, So this is the story of DeepSeek is that AI is demystified, democratized, and it's very cheap. Everybody can use it, and you do not need to depend on anybody. Now, Americans will say, you become dependent. You depend on Chinese. You become Chinese government will control you. It's you can download it to your computer.
It's open source, so anybody can. Can we just say, just briefly, for those that perhaps haven't followed this particular story on DeepSeek, that, and Andy just summed it up, but it's cheaper, it's efficient, it uses less energy, better, he says, but it's just the actual cost, and then open source. So you can this gives access to AI for everyone. What will that do? Can I ask you this question? Since this is a labor conference, what impact could that have on global labor force?
Yeah, all you need to do is to spend a little bit of time studying how to use this kind of model, so that when you can use the model to do a program for you. For example, you want to solve a problem, right? With a program, you can work with this and write it for you. Okay, so this is where it's a tool. It's basically, it's not replacing human beings. It makes you more efficient. Okay, so that's what you don't need to go to MIT to study computer science from scratch. You need to just know enough how to use this. It's like you learn how to drive a car. You don't need to know how to build a car. Okay, so that's what this is about. So this is where whenever you hear people who look like big shots talking about technology, don't believe them. Technology belongs to nerds. People cannot talk. And the technology come up by these people. In the 1980s and 90s, we were talking about nerds, okay? Now you look at the technology guys, they all look like movie stars. They're not real technology guys, okay? So this is where, see, Chinese didn't buy the program. So that's why they did something on their own.
15 seconds. So in 10 seconds, DeepSeek will increase productivity through the roof.
Yeah, I think that for anybody who you're trying to solve problems, it helps you. Okay, if you want to write a program, it helps you. Okay, if you're planting seeds, you're facing a new environment. You want to develop a plan how to grow, what crops to grow, how to do it, and it helps you. Okay. So and it helps you in a way that makes you confident because it tells you why it's thinking a certain way. You can read how it's thinking, reaching its conclusions, and if it's sure about it or not. So this is the first model to do something like that.
Okay. Boy, time flies up here. Blink and you miss it. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Dr. Andy Hsieh. Thank you so much, Andy. A real pleasure. I wish we had more time.
Thank you.
Listen, you take those steps down there.